Hello, this is Steve from Just the Bass Tutorial. Recently I got a new bass from Amazon for only $129. It is a Fojill precision jazz bass, and it's tobacco sunburst. It's got a roasted maple Canadian neck, basswood body, and it seems to be pretty nice. We're going to do a review on it today. Also, it came with a couple other things like a gig bag, an Allen key, a truss rod bar, a cable to plug it in, and I don't know. Let's see what we can get for $129. So looking at the frets, they did really good work on these frets. Very smooth on either side, nothing sticking out. It feels like they not only filed them, but they sanded them on both sides. It's very nice. Okay, and they advertised it was a bone nut. It doesn't feel like cheap plastic, I'll tell you that. And it's pretty thick too. And they put it up high enough so that I have a little bit of play if I need it. Okay, I don't know how to say any other way to say that. It just said I can lower it. You can never really raise a bone nut unless you start putting stuff under it. Okay, so I really like how they did it because, like I said, I've already adjusted the neck and the bridge, and I still don't have any buzz, and I'm very impressed with that. Okay, and then looking at the bridge looks like your typical stamped metal Fender bridge they've been making for years, putting on, you know, the precision bass and this, you know, tele precision bass and, well, whatever else, the Telecaster, the Stratocaster. Those bridges are good. I like them. Okay, now moving along to the machine heads. Yes, these are probably cheap Chinese machine heads. I don't have a problem with cheap as long as it stays in tune and it's good. Okay, so here's what happened. The day after I got this, I had adjusted it on the first day, tuned it and everything, and then I used it in a video the very next night for a drop D tuned song called Slither from Velvet Revolver. Like I said, it played really nice. The thing was in tune from the day before. I just tweaked it very slightly. I was pretty impressed. Anyway, now I've had about a week. And yeah, this thing is really staying in tune pretty good. The neck does feel good. They advertised roasted Canadian maple. And I believe it probably is. I don't see any reason why they'd have to lie about that. It definitely is maple, and it definitely is roasted. Okay, there is a blemish on the neck. That doesn't really bother me much. I think you can see it right there. Okay, it looks like that's where a new branch was going to grow out of the tree. Okay, and that's fine. Trees grow branches. It's smooth. They sanded it down. It's fine. Okay, so it's a tobacco sunburst. The back is just solid black. Yes, I had cheaper guitars that the back was also painted sunburst. But come on. Okay. So you see, that's where you adjust the truss rod right there. Okay, now, the electronics, they sound great, and their volumes are about even. The precision bass pickup does sound like a precision bass, very much so. Jazz bass sounds like a jazz bass pickup. So, I'm not upset. I'm probably not going to change them unless if I want to start playing out live, but, you know, we're going to see what happens. I might go back to it, but I'm kind of busy on the weekends, so I don't get to go out and play anymore. Maybe eventually. The way that the pickups are attached, at least the precision pickups, to the pick guard, they don't feel even. They're not. You can see that they're not if I can get it from the side. Okay. You're probably not seeing that. Anyway, I'm probably going to have to take the pickguard off if I want them to be even. But like I said, the volume's even, so I don't really care. Okay, but they're not even, and that's kind of interesting. One of them is like on a pitch. Okay, so I might take this off anyway. Anyway, all that being said, I would just reattach the same ones, put them in so that they go up and down, level. Okay, now the jazz pickup that's in the back, that's kind of in sideways too, or at least the screws are. So it looks like they just set it. You can't move it. The way they put it in there is, it's just one way, and that's it. Okay, so like I said, it's the volume with the precision pickups. It's about the same. So, and I don't have any hum or anything. So I think I might just leave all of that alone, unless of course I do change that. Then moving along to the potentiometers. These potentiometers they're not like the speed ones, which I don't like anyway. By the way. You touch the speed one and it goes zoop right to the other end. These are firm and smooth. Okay, and all three of them. There's the tone. There's the jazz. There's the precision. I'm hoping that I'm keeping this in focus. There's this little camera. I love it, but if you get too close, it doesn't stay in focus. That there is what I see. Okay, and yes, by the way, there is a couple of other blemishes. I'm going to see if I can see them from here. But if not, I do have a couple of pictures I took. Okay, let me see. There's a blemish right here. But it looks like the body was hanging up and somebody touched it to see if it was dry yet. That's probably exactly what happened. Okay, let me see. You might be able to. Anyway, okay, and then there's a couple of little dots in the paint. It looks kind of like sawdust or something, and they're just right there. Okay, and then there's just a little swizzle thing right there. It looks kind of like a triangle. I don't think anybody can see this. And if you're out clubbing, and you want to leave your nice, 1992 Fender Jazz bass at home and go to the club with this, I would recommend that anyway. Nobody's going to see any of these. Okay? That's a fact. No one will see any of those. And you'll appreciate how the neck is, but I'm not trying to sell these. I'm just impressed, okay? That's all. All right, let's move on to the plug it in and let's hear it. go into the report card for Fojill Precision Jazz Bass that I got from Amazon for $129. The first thing that we're looking at is delivery. It was delivered to the house in a very timely manner. It was packed really well, and it was like double packed inside. It had that foam packing around the guitar, and the guitar was in the gig bag, and the gig bag had more packing in it, and then there was plastic around the base. It was very nice. Okay, so I'm going to give that a 5. Moving along, the setup. Okay, the setup was, you know, it was actually too low. Okay, so it was buzzing. Okay, anyway, I didn't know how the intonation was, so I had to back off the neck a little bit. When I backed off the neck a little bit, I tuned it, and I checked the intonation, and the freaking intonation was perfect. I was actually kind of surprised. I was expecting to get ready to do it myself. I didn't have to do anything for that. I did get to use it the next day without barely tuning it again in that video, and everything was really good. So the setup, I'm going to give the setup a 3, because I did have to do adjusting and such, but the intonation was quite great. Okay, then moving along to the finish on the body. So I told you, I showed you, we had 3 blemishes. I really am a sucker for sunburst, tobacco sunburst. I really liked it. It was really good. Let me see what I wind up giving that. Because I like tobacco sunburst, and they actually did do mostly a good job, well, except for somebody putting a thumbprint on it and, you know, a little sawdust. I gave it a 3. But hey, you know, that's not terrible. The electronics. The electronics are actually good. There wasn't any hum. There was no real noise or anything. What I am going to gig them on the electronics is the way that they attach the precision pickups to the pick guard. You couldn't adjust them up and down. I didn't show that on the video, but I tried to move them up and down, and all that happened was when I tried to move them up, the screw came out of the pick guard, and when I tried to get them to go down, nothing moved other than the screw went back in. So that was the precision. The Jazz pickup, they were in there sideways like that, and they were holding the Jazz pickup in place. There was no adjustment. You couldn't get it to go up or down or anything. So the actual setup of the pickups the placement was really good, because the volume was really good for both of them. They both were even. So somebody at the plant set them up that way on purpose. That's all I could figure. I may redo it myself down the road, but I don't see any point in it. It was nice. Also, the potentiometers they put in there were really good. I really like those. They are they're smooth, but they don't want to turn fast. It's really nice. Like I said before, I had speed tuners on a couple of my guitars, and you just touch them and they go zoop all the way up or zoop all the way down, and it's like, wait a second, I want in between. These are perfect. Okay, so for the electronics, I'm overall giving it a 4. I was actually kind of happy with it, even though I would have liked to adjust the pickups, but like I said, they're in a perfect place. So what are you going to do, you know? So 4. The fretwork was completely outstanding. I've had instruments from Gibson, from Fender, from Jackson, from all kinds. I still have them, and I had to do a lot of fretwork on my own here and actually fix stuff, you know, that I paid a lot of money for. This came right out of the freaking Fojill box. It was smooth. They were done really nicely. Somebody at that Fojill plant is really smoking on those things. They're great. Okay, so Fretwork, giving it a 5. Excellent. Thank you, guys. The neck, the roasted Canadian maple. Really smooth. It has kind of that satin feel. It just feels great. It's a really comfortable neck. It's very similar to my jazz bass. It's a little bit different, not much, but it's almost the same. It's really close. So for the neck, I'm giving it a 5. Okay, and then the last thing is the price. $129. It's got a few flaws, but I'd club with that thing. I wouldn't care. I think for $129, you know, you're playing out in all of these clubs and everything. I've done that a lot. It's you can't beat it. You know, $129. I could buy 10 of them for the price of one of these other basses or guitars that I have here at the house. I mean, it's such a good deal. I don't work for Amazon, and I don't work for Fojill. Like I said, it's not perfect what they come up with, but it is very nice. So yeah, I totally use it for, you know, beginner, intermediate, expert. I'd record with it. You know, I already have. That's what I'm going to be using it for mostly. I'm fine with it. You know, and hell, if it breaks, I'm not going to be that sad about it. Yeah, and you know what? If it doesn't retain its value, it's $129, people. I know some of you people out there, your hearts are sinking. But I spent $2,500 on my stuff. Well, okay, and that's good. I already have too, and I'm very, very happy that I've got some of the instruments I have. I love them. You know, but I just feel really good about not having to spend that kind of money. That's all. I feel great about it, actually. And I'll tell you what, you guys, with those really expensive ones, just the neck is freaking smoking on this thing. I'm not kidding. Just all by itself. Yeah. So, yeah, basically, is the Amazon bass worth it? I'd say absolutely. Yep. Okay, so down the road I might do some more of these reviews. I might get some more cheap basses. I might get something more expensive, or somebody might loan me something. Something that I can't get anymore. So we'll just see what happens. But anyway, thanks for watching. Alright? Remember, if you liked it, or even if you didn't, why don't you subscribe, huh? Okay, thank you. Thank you, thank you. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.